when I was in the seminary, I was there for 5 years. I met Ray, I met Mike, Mike Wack, I met Ray, and any of a number of people who were, Father Marty, who were tremendous influences on my life. Paul Harelchak with his music, Father Conrad Dachuk, his ability to provide unbelievable translation into English adaptations with the music that was so beautiful. The wedding that we sing now, you have placed upon their heads crowns, that's Conrad Dachuk. The dance Isaiah, that's it. We were blessed people with such talent, and that kind of was given to me over the years. You know that after 7 years, I left the seminary. I left the seminary because I wasn't sure whether I wanted to be the priest or my mother wanted to be the priest. I went at 15, and I was kind of going, hey man, it's like, can I handle this? It's not, in the States, marriage was not allowed, not permitted. You could not be a married priest down there. And I found that the girls were kind of nice. In spite of what my mother said. And children, Peter will tell you, children in Ukrainian families are born under cabbage patches and under cabbage leaf or something like that. They have nothing to do with any physical contact. Lama, I'm surprised, had 6 children, but that's another story. Anyway, so I left the seminary after 7 years, and I taught. There were other things I might have done, but my friends said, no, you're not going to Vietnam. They got me to teach in New Jersey. Father David Clooney, who gave me my first icon, who took me for the very first time to Jordanville Monastery, Holy Trinity Monastery in Jordanville, where I saw the beauty of I knew Večírňa, I knew Archiereska, I knew those services, but in a parish I didn't get a chance to do them. And I went to this monastery and I saw this old man, this decrepit old man come in, wearing basically schmate on the arms of 2 younger guys, and he'd come up and he'd put his hands out, and they take these clothes off of him and put on instead the bishop's vestments, one after the other. And within a few minutes, this decrepit old man became the image of the Father. And I stood there and I cried that this is what it's supposed to be like. And this is what I want to see. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to implement in my priesthood. I was kind of not sure that I wanted to be a priest. And yet every weekend I would drive to Praznyk 20 miles to go to Večírňa. Every weekend I would go there, and eventually I became their cantor with Father Sulik, who became the metropolitan there. And every day, and every week, Father Clooney would come on Thursday evenings to check on me, to take me out to the Idle Hour Inn, to give me a dinner of breaded shrimp. Mama never made shrimp. and he would keep, and then after that year, I remember crying. And saying, I know that I still am attracted to girls, but I'm willing to give all that up to be a priest because I must be I'm called to be a priest. So with tears in my eyes, I tell Father Wayne Rutschke, I'm coming back to the seminary. I come back to the seminary and I'm going to be a celibate. But, there's nothing more, they say, you want to make God laugh? Tell him your plans, So there for a year, I go to work the following summer at Mount Loretto, and I meet Iryna. And I couldn't believe it. She was the perfect Ukrainian girl. A little bit on the chubby side at that time. She was quite huggable. Anyway, but not me. My mother had much in common at that time. Anyway, but then what happened was she would teach the little Puerto Ricans and little black kids from the orphanage from New York City, and she teach them arts and crafts. But best of all, she taught them how to dance Ukrainian dances and sing Ukrainian songs. And I knew the, you know the song, I got a pair of roller skates, you got a brand new tee. She knew the songs, Oipid Hayim Hayim. I knew the guitar and the chords, and she would them. And so I'm sitting there playing the chords, and she's teaching them Oipid Hayim Hayim. And we were so good, we actually danced and sang at Soyuzuka. The little kids, Mike Walk adopted half a dozen of them, and they still remember us fondly. And so here's this perfect Ukrainian girl, and I'm going to be a single priest, a little priest. a red 1962 Mark II 1600 MGA sports car. Never sell your toys. So there I am, and then she, you know, there's Father Wayne, there's Marty, there's Joe Lamb, all these wonderful guys that I figured she's going to marry one. Well, they all went off and were ordained celibate or this or that, and I'm the last one there, it would seem. And one day, she tells me that she wants me to take her for a ride in my 1962 Mark II 1600 red MGA sports car. And and so we went to Clove Lakes. We sat down under the tree, and goodbye to my celibate priesthood. If you ever come to the house, I'll show you the picture. I'll show you the picture. And so, now, but you know, I'm a little bit of a finagler. I tried to have my cake and eat it too. And so what am I going to do now? I heard that in Canada, there is this Bishop Isidore who is he's sort of fatherly and he accepts people. And then I connected with Father Matthew Burko, God rest his soul. I wrote to him and he said, come on up. You finish your theology, come up and we'll see what we can do. Father Matthew had been ordained a married priest. He was an American boy and he had to go to Yugoslavia, but and he said, come on up, finish your study. And so I had to spend a year and a half in the seminary on there was an underground of letters. I used to write letters every night. Every night I would write these on this yellow legal pad. We had 3 boxes of these letters up until recently when I came across them one day and I started reading. I said, oh my God, this is terrible. If one of my girls brought a guy who wrote this sort of I tell him get lost, you know? So we very gladly kept half a dozen just to remind us, and the rest we put in the fire. Because it was absolute worthless crap, you know. Very shiny, and the birds are singing, and I'm lonely, and I'm missing. But the interesting thing here is that the letters would come to the seminary, 201 Taylor Street. Thank you. She knows the address better than I do. And they'd come in. And the thing is, though, the rector would see this, and I'm out on my butt really quick because you can tell the feminine writing every other day. I wrote every day. She wrote every 2 or 3 days. And these letters would be coming in, and they always, they smell different, And the handwriting is different. And so what happened was, our prefect at that time was Father Marty, who preached today. He was the prefect, and he made sure every day he would get to the mailbox before the rector did. And he'd get these letters, and that kind of enabled me to carry on correspondence with Irene. She was studying by Celibacy at New Paltz. I was down here in Washington, and for that year and a half, we corresponded. Crazy things. On 2 occasions, we drove from Washington to we had a free day from 9 until 9. I remember it was October the 1st and October 14th of 1968, I think it was. We had a free day, 12 hours. Father David Clooney had a Volkswagen, Marty and I, into the car at 9 o'clock. We would drop off Marty at Staten Island, Father Clooney up in Nyack. I would go all the way up to Soyuzuka to New Paltz, and I'd hold hands with Irene. Hold hands with Irene for half an hour, and then back down to New York, through away, Nyack, Staten Island, and just under the wire, 9 o'clock. That's the sort of thing. But these people in my life that made that sort of thing possible. It seems that, I don't know, my mother's prayers, our mother's holy prayers, whatever, but for some reason God has chosen this family of ours to be really kind to, really, really nice to.